is Kenny. Welcome back to my channel. Just in case you guys didn't know, I am trying to get to 150 subscribers before May 1st. So if you guys can share with your friends and send them my way, I am like super down for that, and I really appreciate it because I'll make sure to support you in any way that I can. Just to let you guys know, if you are new to my channel, a little bit about me. I believe in having real conversations with real people. We are all real, but I feel like sometimes we just kind of walk away and like just kind of turn our heads away from the truth. Sometimes the truth is just too much for us to understand, and with that being said, sometimes with not wanting to have truthful conversations with other people, we're not truthful with ourselves. So that's what I just thought this platform could be. I talk about beauty, lifestyle, pretty much everything under the sun. This is just my life. So if the last video wasn't something that you particularly like, just keep watching. I got something coming for you. But anyways, just kind of want to get into this conversation today. I've just had something on my mind, just talking about being intentional in life, and just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about kind of where I came from and how I am now in 2020. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so one thing that I realized last year going through the 2019 was one of the roughest years for me, simply because I realized no matter how hard you can have all your ducks in a row, but things will always work out how they were already predestined to be. So meaning, if you believe in a higher power, whatever your story is already written as, it's going to remain the same. And so I didn't really learn, or I didn't realize that fully until 2019. We were trying to build a house, and that just ended up being horrible. It was a horrible experience. I'm just so grateful for having the house, but it put a lot of stress on me and my husband's relationship, a lot of stress on me. I kind of lost myself last year simply because I felt like I was doing everything right, and it's just things weren't falling together. So the reason why I like talking and just kind of opening up is because I know there are people out that possibly feel like me. Well, after, let's say, maybe mid 2019, I kind of wanted to regroup. One being because we thought our house was going to be done, and we thought that that point in our life was going to be over, and we were going to be able to move on to the next step. That didn't end up happening, as you've seen in my last video, but I've tried to flip my mindset and try to be positive. One thing that I've tried to grasp the concept of is being intentional. Being intentional about everything. I've created goals for this year. I typically don't create goals, but last year I realized I just was stuck on one thing. I was like, I'm gonna build a house. This is a big milestone in my life. And every time something came upon that was negative, it just kind of ruined my entire mood. It just sat on me. Like I was a completely different person last year, and now I'm glad to be kind of out of that mental state. But it wasn't, I wouldn't necessarily say it was us building the house. It had been coming for a while, or that mental state had been coming for a while, because I just don't take rejection easily. And so coming into 2020, I tried to do a lot of, I don't know, I tried to do a lot of self-reflecting. I wanted to have the conversation with myself, like, okay, Kenyana, what do you want to do? What is it going to take you to get there? I have great parents. I have a great husband. I have a great support system. So many people say, you know, they're like, oh, you know, people don't root for me. I'm always the underdog, blah, 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 blah. That is not my story. I have a great support system, but one thing that I've learned, that if you don't support yourself, if you ain't rooting for if you're not rooting for yourself, who's rooting for you? Because it's okay if your mama rooting for you, it's okay if your husband's rooting for you, but if you ain't there to back yourself, it really ain't worth nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of I was thankful that my family stayed by my side and tried to keep pushing, but me and my husband kind of went through a time to where it was trying on him as well. So I didn't really get the verbal positivity from him that he usually gives last year. So I had to, you know, keep pushing for myself. So that's why I realized, like, okay, I have to get this together. I have to get myself out of this mood and be strong for our family, you know. So going into 2020, I was like, listen, I ain't never going back to that. So I told myself, this is what I'm gonna do. I am going to do blase, blase, blase. I want to make sure that I created my YouTube channel, and look, we're here. I wanted to do a few other things that I'm still trying to work on. I want to, you know, get into fitness, lose weight, have a certain amount of weight that I want to lose, all that stuff. But I asked myself, I said, okay, what has stopped you from getting, what has stopped you in the past from getting to your goals? And I think the word, like I mentioned before, the word that comes to me is being intentional, setting intentional goals. That may not be the right word in this scenario, but I think it is. So what I mean by being intentional is like, okay, so say if I want to say if I want to cook spaghetti by Friday, right? This is just an example. Say I want to cook spaghetti by Friday. Well, I'm gonna make intentional goals throughout the week so I can have the spaghetti by Friday. So on Monday, I may buy the spaghetti noodles. On Tuesday, I may buy the meat. On Wednesday, I may prep the sauce. On Friday, I'll put it all together. And so, but with me doing those steps and like me preparing myself for that, it just doesn't allow me to fail. But I'm giving myself realistic goals as well. But I don't know. I don't want to ramble, but being intentional has, I say that word to my sister all the time. I say that word to my mother, my husband, but you know, just trying to set goals for instance, perfect example. So when I talk to myself, I don't shoot too high. I don't shoot too high because I've been there, I've done that. You know what I'm saying? Of course I'm gonna get to the point to where I can make goals for myself that seem unattainable, and then I'll be able to attain them. But right now I'm being very realistic, and I'm talking to myself as if, look, hey Kenyana. I'm looking at myself like this. Hey Kenyana, look, you're gonna do your makeup, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. You know, you're gonna shoot this video, you're gonna do 2 videos a day, you're gonna do 1 video a week, you're gonna do this. But I'm talking to myself and telling myself, hey, this is what you're gonna do. These are the goals we're gonna hit, and these are realistic to hit. Versus me trying to, like, I was very obsessed with the fact of working in like the career field, getting a professional job. You know, very obsessed with that. Eventually I'll like go into a story about like graduating college and not getting a job and stuff like that. But I used to, I used to give myself goals and be like, okay, like last year, perfect example. Last year, 2019, I put a goal on my thing. I said, I am going to get a corporate job. So with everything that happened for me last year mentally, that wasn't necessarily a realistic goal. Yes, to somebody else it may be, but knowing me personally and knowing me mentally, I wasn't mentally strong enough to keep pushing myself. So now I'm giving myself smaller goals and being intentional about my goals to where, like, for instance, like say if I want to get a job this year, I'm making sure that, okay, in January, I'm gonna do this for this job. In February, I'm gonna do this for this job. Blase, blase, blase. I'm just trying to make sure that I am being, once again, intentional about everything that I'm doing. Like I am putting my best foot forward and not lying to myself. I feel like sometimes, you know, we try our best and we give ourselves these goals and they're not obtainable. Like I I want a new car. I want an Audi Q3i, right? But I personally don't feel like I should go get an Audi Q3i because I feel like I need to meet certain goals. So my thing was, okay, well, once I get to a certain level in revenue, as far as myself personally, not my husband, because we can afford to go get another car, but I want to be able to get to a certain level for myself, then I'll possibly go get that car, you know? So I don't know. I just wanted to come here today and just talk to you guys about, you know, sometimes when we are making goals, if you feel like you're not getting to your goals or they're just unattainable, they may be unattainable at that given moment. You know, they may just be too big for you in that given moment. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just coming from a person that used to be a goal getter and it broke. I was broken, not broken, but I had lost my fire for a very long time. I just didn't want to do anything. So now I'm just making steps small, little by little by little. So to you, if you feel like you are making goals and they're unattainable, maybe cut that goal in half. See what you can do to get halfway there. Or take your goal, say if you're trying to get a new job, put in 50 applications a month. You know, or 10 applications a week, and that is a small goal. Because once you get to that 10 applications a week, it'll seem more likely for you. The big goal of obtaining a job will seem more likely because you're doing all this small stuff to get that job or to get to that goal. So when making goals, just try to, when you write down, one thing I like to do when I write down, I always have a notebook. I use a planner, but I'll write down all my goals and I'll just have like a little tally mark. When I was in school, when we learned how to brainstorm for campaigns, we used to always use bubble sheets. And so when I write down my goals now, I always try to write down small goals. How am I going to attain that? In January, I went to a New Year's resolution party. It was great. It was a vision board party held by my hairstylist, Kiana, and she is just a visionary. She just wants to bring women together. And it put me out of my comfort zone, but I told myself, perfect example, Kenyana, you want to become an influencer, you want to work with brands, you want to have a YouTube, you got to go meet people. You know, so that's another intentional thing of doing. So I said, okay, because initially I wasn't going to go. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to make sure that I go to this. And when I tell you guys, going to this vision board party, it set my year up. It really set my year up. I was able to really think and talk to other women about, you know, trying to figure out what I wanted to do for the year. I feel like sometimes us as women, we, and one thing that Kiana mentioned is that we are afraid to share our ideas with people. I'm never afraid to share my ideas with people. Of course, I'm not going to give you everything because I don't want you to go steal my ideas. But if I'm confident enough in you and I consider you a friend, I like to bounce ideas off of you because that is a healthy relationship. So if you don't have that in somebody, you should try to maybe create friendships where you can push each other, because sometimes having somebody that keeps you accountable makes it all the better. So in the vision board party, we made a vision board. I want to show you guys my vision board so you can kind of see how I pull out my thoughts and how I kind of get to my goals. Okay, so this is my vision board. And I'm not gonna hold it up here the entire time, but as you can see up here at the top, I have the categories of things that I want to do. One is Creative Kenny, because that is my brand. I eventually changed it to That's Kenny. As you can see, this platform is called That's Kenny. This is about me, personal goals outside of fitness. My blog, which you guys have yet to find out about because I still need to work on that. My YouTube channel, Instagram, and self-care. So this is everything that I wanted to work on this year. One of the questions at the vision board party was, where do you see yourself at the end of the year, and how can you get there? I wanted to be an influencer, but I had to make sure I create goals for myself that were obtainable. So me meeting new people, me making new friends, me going to new places, me getting out and about is going to help me to get to that bigger goal. So just remember, when you are making a goal, rather you want to be a basket weaver, you want to you want to be able to become a lash artist. Ask yourself, what are you doing to get to that goal? Because that was the question that I missed out. Like, that's the question I never asked myself back in the day. So that's why I kept failing. It just kind of, to sum this conversation up, when it comes to making goals, just make sure you're being intentional. I know sometimes it's kind of stressful. Like, I am a proponent of having good people in my life and having good conversation because it's healthy for me. If you feel like you not crave people, but you like being around people and you benefit from having friends and stuff like that, don't feel wrong for that, because I used to feel wrong for that for years. You know, I thrive better when I can bounce my ideas off of people, and typically those people are my friends, because like, I don't trust everybody with the ideas that I bounce off of. So when you're making your goals, just remember to keep healthy relationships around you, because that will help you get to your goals too. You need to have an accountability partner. For granted, if you don't have anybody, call me, message me, personally message me. Just say that you need somebody, to keep with you to get to those goals, because I'm always here, but I just want to give you guys a little backstory on how I felt and how I've gotten to the place that I am now. I feel, besides the fact of like the anxiety that I'm getting from COVID-19, I feel great. I've been working towards becoming a better me, and working towards having a healthy family and all that stuff. And I feel like people can see that from the outside. Not that I necessarily care, but it's nice when people know that you are happy too. So whatever makes you happy, make sure you do it. But remember, sometimes the goals that we set for ourselves is just setting us up for failure. So just be realistic and intentional. Y'all have a good day. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends. Send them your way. If you have a friend that's been having a hard time in the dumps, or if you have a friend that's super confident and you think I'll love her, send her my way too, because I love making and meeting new friends. Anyways, leave comments down below and wait for my next video, because y'all have a good one. Bye.